Hi, everyone. I'm Ned Kalanj. I'm the chair of the National Academy's Committee on Guidance on PFAS Testing and Health Outcomes. And I'm excited to welcome everyone to the second day of our fifth meeting and our public session. As chair of the Committee on Guidance on PFAS Testing and Health Outcomes, I want to note that this is an open, on-the-record information gathering session. That is, the committee is in the process of assembling materials that it will examine and discuss in the course of making its findings, conclusions, and recommendations. Therefore, I ask everyone here today to be extremely mindful of the fact that the committee has made no conclusions and that it would be a mistake for anyone to leave here today thinking otherwise. Committees made by individuals, including members of the committee, should not be interpreted as positions of the committee or of the academies. For those of you not familiar with the committee process, it's the fifth of several planned public committee meetings. In the public session, we'll have the opportunity to hear from many experts in the field and to receive public testimony. The committee will deliberate thoroughly before writing its draft report. Moreover, once the draft report is written, it must go through a rigorous review by experts who are anonymous to the committee. And the committee must then respond to this review with appropriate revisions that adequately satisfy the Academy's Report Review Committee and the chair of the National Research Council before it's considered at a council report. The expected report release is spring of 2022. Further information on the study, including future meetings, can be found on the project website, which you can get to by going to NASEM and searching on PFAS. And we'll put the link in the chat. The committee is being asked to provide advice for clinicians about PFAS testing and how test results should inform clinical care. Additionally, our expert committee will examine the health outcomes associated with PFAS exposure and will develop principles clinicians can use to advise patients on exposure reduction. In this meeting, the committee will hear from experts on the contribution of PFAS exposure to human exposure, clinical principles for advising patients on exposure reduction, putative health effects of PFAS, and methods for evidence synthesis. During panel discussions, the moderator and committee will ask questions of the speakers. If you're viewing on the web, you may send any comments to Liz Boyle at eboyle, that's E-B-O-Y-L-E, at nas.edu. The meeting is being recorded. Available speaker presentations will be posted to the project website soon after the meeting. So our objectives for today are to cover the putative health effects and synthesis portion of our statement of task. Putative health effects that have been suggested by human studies include effects on immune response, lipid metabolism, kidney function, thyroid disease, liver disease, glycemic parameters and diabetes, cancer, and fetal and child development. This will help us establish a basis for potential prioritized clinical surveillance or monitoring of PFAS health effects. The assessment should characterize the likelihood of those effects occurring. That's the qualitative probability given real-world human exposures, and identify the human populations most at risk while considering life stage, health status, and exposure level. Data and evidence gaps that contribute to uncertainty about health effects will also be annotated. That's what we are hoping to address with testimony today. The structure of the meeting will be, I will turn the session over to a moderator who will introduce a session speaker. After that point, we'll have a panel of additional experts to have discussion, and then the rest of the committee will ask questions. Following that, we'll have the opportunity for public comment towards the end of the session.